Okay, hello everyone. Let me just get the chat pop back up. Okay, so you had some fun little tech issues crop up this morning, or whatever it is right now, afternoon. Are we in afternoon? No, we're technically right at noon. So it was one of those things where it's like, I need to get this fixed because suddenly OBS decided it didn't like my microphone or the audio whatsoever. So please do let me know in the chat how that is working for you, because I did do a couple recordings just to check it and it seemed to be okay on my end. But just in case, let me know. So today what I'm going to do, and I've actually been getting a lot of questions about these guys. Let me just fix the cord here. These new translucent minis that are coming out. People are wondering how to work with them and how to paint them and everything like that, keeping some of the translucency to it, but also adding color. So this is my take on it. This is how I like to do it. And, this is one of those things where I'm not saying you have to do it my way, but this is my way if you want to do my way. So what I'm going to work with today, we have the Wraith and Specter from WizKids. So here's one of them. The tricky thing right now is going to be showing these guys off because they don't show too well without my hand behind them. Hey, how you doing, Vincent? And hi everyone in the chat. Sorry, still getting over being a little flustered over losing the sound. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate the feedback. So here we go. We have these guys, which are very spooky and cool. And then the other one I'm going to do is the Phoenix from the Familiars pack, because again, it's another one of those deals where it's going to need the same kind of treatment. So I figured, why not get all three going? And that way we have some drying time in between. If you want to see the packaging, well, obviously they're not in the package anymore. Do make sure before you start working with them that you give them that nice wash in some warm water and a little drop of Dawn dish soap. But this is the one set. And then the Phoenix came from the Familiar set. So you also get a little tiny dragon and a cat. The cat has fallen to the bottom of the box. But yeah, this is a fun set as well, and you can see on the back here. So it just gives you an idea. Oh wait, I'm calling it a Phoenix. It's not a Phoenix. Good grief. It's this cool little dude here. So there you go. So that's the plan here. I thought that was a Phoenix. See, this is why it's good when you get some colors on them. Alright, so the first one I'm going to work with is this dude. And he's actually going to be mostly the same color, a little bit more on the darker tone with some highlighting. So the first thing I want to do is, I'll put them right about there. I'm going to work with Citadel washes. I do prefer them out of all the washes out there. For me, they just have the best results. So for him, I'm going to be using the Drakenhof Nightshade as his base color, and then we're going to go from there. And reason why I like Citadel's washes is I find they kind of get into those nooks and crannies a heck of a lot better, which is why I prefer them as my go-to. However, I do have a couple other brands that I will work with, and whenever I do my washes, I do like to work with a brush like this. I just find that it helps hold it a little bit better, and it helps get it into those grooves a lot more. So it's a soft pointed brush, which I like, and it's a little bit bigger because right now we're not looking at getting into very fine work quite yet, so it's not really necessary. So anytime you work with a wash, you want to sort of start at the top and then work your way down to the bottom, because it's going to pool and it's going to collect in on itself, and you don't want to be too terribly heavy-handed with it because it'll take forever to dry. So right now I'm literally just painting this whole thing, and that would probably be Hemingway if you heard that clunking sound. He's coming down the stairs. And this just starts getting into those grooves that right now don't really pop out too well until you add this wash in. And we're actually going to be doing a couple washes on this. This gives me the start, so I can do some dry brushing, and then the final wash kind of adds a little bit more to the color without totally blocking it out. Let's see, who else do we have here? Hello, Chet, how you doing? I'm still laughing at myself for thinking that one thing's a Phoenix. It's not a Phoenix. Whoops. It's been a rather busy week this past week, let's put it that way. Between having to travel out to Chicago for a wedding last weekend And then getting some pretty cool news earlier last week that I couldn't share with you guys yet. Yeah, it's been a scramble. But luckily for now, at least, it should kind of ease up for the next couple weeks. And then I got to start getting ready for MACE. Why not? Yeah, so see, like I said before, Phil, I have different, everyone's going to have sort of their own take on it. This is mine since I was being asked. But Phil's saying you can use ink as well. Yeah, ink's definitely an option. And again, I'm trying not to be too... You don't want to glob this on because that's just not going to be fun to have to wait for it all to dry. But I am almost done with him. And if you see areas that are getting a little too puddly, how's that for a technical term? If it's getting too puddly, just use your brush to move it around and down towards the base. Now the bases I will be painting with normal paint, but right now the name of the game is to keep it light and easy on the minis themselves. And really what I'm doing at this moment is I'm seeing how this is starting to pool and then moving it around as I need to. Oh, I'm doing okay, chat. Like I said, a little bit a little bit slightly frazzled because the audio decided to go funky on me 10 minutes before going live. So that's always fun. So I kind of had to redo a couple settings and problem solved after a minor heart attack. Hello, Julio. How are you? Yeah, it's almost Halloween. I'm excited. I am very excited for this. The kids are getting excited too. I still have some costume parts to work on. Where, quite frankly, if these guys don't dry quite yet, I'll show you what I'm going to start working on for the Doctor Strange costume. Alright, so I'm liking the way that's looking on him. And I'm going to let him dry. So this is the first one. He's going to sit over here, and I am done with the Drakenhof for now. Let's see here. How's Cotton? Oh, Cotton is Cotton. He's my sweet Bubadoo. He's a fun little guy. Well, he's not little. He's a huge cat, but he's my little guy. I need to get a paper towel. It's right up there. So handy. Let's see here. Da-da-da. How did the playtime go with the probe, Vincent asks? So far so good. I have put it to use for the upcoming video on Friday. Hopefully you'll like how that works out. And my laptop is not as happy with it. That's definitely making the laptop have to work for its dinner, so to speak. So I got to see how it goes with it. But hey, Andy, how you doing? Oh, and Nathan, you're in here too. And then Megamoo. Hello, Megamoo. I missed you. Hello, everyone. All right, so I'm going to move on to. I need to shake this a little bit. Oh, and for those of you who do not like using Citadels because of the tipsy factor, if you happen to have a 3D printing machine, you can print out these lovely holders and they make it so super stable, and I love them, and I have two, and I will bug my husband for the link and I will put it in the description later, but definitely recommend them. So for what I'm going to move on to now is this lovely little lady, and I'm actually going to do two different colors on her. So I'm going to base her in the, oh good grief, Karaberg. I've never had to say it out loud before. This Karaberg Crimson. So basically, ooh, basically from the neck down, she's going to be getting that. And then for her hair, I'm going to be doing this Reichland Flesh Shade up in her hair area. So we're going to start with those on her. This is the one thing I don't like about having the camera right there. Okay, we definitely have Cotton on the stairs because I can hear him chasing his tail. All right, so we'll get started with her. Let me just resituate. There we go. Let's see here. Megamoo says, no problem. Oh, you're going to be at MACE! Yay! Make sure you say hi to me. And if you see me walking quickly, it is not that I'm in a hurry. It is that's my way of walking. I tend to walk quickly So, yeah, stop me if you see me and say hello, please, because people at Origins are saying, "Oh, I saw you, but you're walking so quickly. I thought you were going somewhere." I'm like, "No, that's just me walking." Oh, this is going to be fun. We're going to hear the cats in the background today. Hemingway tried to make an appearance. He was trying to jump up on the table before, so that's always fun. So you can see that's bringing out the folds of the, I don't know if I'd call that skirt, what we call that. Garb. And because I don't want to get all the way up in top with her hair area as much, kind of starting where the shoulders are, and then I'll bring it down on the dress. Because I really do want to keep these guys, you know, kind of see-through-ish. Why not? They're spooky, scary things. Here we go. Yeah. And depending on the wash, some of the washes, although with this lighting it's hard to tell, some of the washes will show up a lot better, faster, so you won't need as much. Oh, awesome! You're playing in the game too! That'll be fun. Saturday night one? That'll be fun. He's been subtly hinting at what we can expect. And he's loving it, so I'm going to put it that way. He's excited to play or kill. We'll see. No, playing with Scotty is absolutely awesome. He's a fantastic DM. He really gets into it, and he just adds this element of excitement and engagement. So it's great. I am going to get the face a little bit here because it's more the hair that I'm making that different color. So I'm just going to take the point of my paintbrush and stab at the face. How's that? Oh gosh, she's pretty. Oh, she's lovely. This is the face you see when you've really pissed someone off. I kid. I totally kid. Now, one thing that is happening with the live streams that I'm going to give people a heads up about is that after I end it here, it's going to go automatically to unlisted. Reason being is for some reason, the monetization's getting a little funky because of the names of these miniatures and talking about them in the chat. Go figure. So basically, it's one of those things that has to sit a little bit longer and stew. And once it's given the okay, then I'll have it go public again. A lot of that is due to the fact that any views it gets while it's in this limbo land, it really doesn't count towards the monetization. So it will show up later, hopefully within a couple hours. It's not something that's not ever going to show up. So heads up for those of you who are hoping to catch this maybe later if you have to leave early. I'm hoping by this evening I'll have it up and going. But just a little FYI. Alright, so I'm liking that. She's got some color there. Now I'm going to do the hair on her. So we're going to close this up. Let's see what the chat has going on. When is the next Citadel session? What do you mean Citadel session, Nathan? This is Citadel. These are Citadel washes. I'm not sure how much... Oh, Sunless Citadel. Derp. Yes, see, I've got to switch between playing and crafting. Sunless Citadel is every single Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Miniature Terrain Domain. That's where you can find us for Sunless Citadel, and that last session was intense. Oh my gosh, I loved it. That was crazy. Yeah, Scotty is an excellent guy. I fully agree. All right, so now I'm going to move over to this Reichland. Again, give this... I don't use this one a lot, so it's kind of... needs a little shaky shake. Oh, that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it, Mega Moo. We'll sit and we'll play and we'll have fun. Anyone else in the chat going to MACE? I'm trying to figure out who is going to MACE because we did have a group created on Facebook so that the crafters who are going to MACE can kind of connect there. And reason being, we want to make sure we can meet everyone while we're there. No, Nathan, it's fine. Like I said, it's changing gears for me. That's what it was. The cap's stuck a little bit. Bear with me. I tell you, Vincent, you're better at keeping track of my subs than I am. Yeah, 5,100? Holy crow. That's incredible. And I like this time last year I had 500 and I thought that was amazing. So, I mean, you guys are awesome. Truly, truly do appreciate each and every one of you. It's a good thing. But yeah, that Sunless Citadel. If you haven't seen the Sunless Citadel yet with Scotty and myself and Jake from Mini Terrain Domain and Megan from Dice on Ice and Jeremy from Erasmus Expeditions, please come over and give us a watch Thursday nights because we actually have a really fantastic viewer chat interaction that goes on with this particular game, and I absolutely love my Thursday nights now because I'm looking forward to being able to play and interact and know that by the time that stream is done, I'm going to be jacked up on the high of playing an awesome game and interacting with amazing people. So yeah, that's definitely a game I'm going to encourage you to check out. So I'm literally just putting this on top of her hair. And that's it. Now, the tricky thing is because I have two different colors going here and I don't want them to bleed together, I'm going to be letting her dry like this. And you'll see me every so often just kind of spin, and that's to help with the pooling. So it's a little bit more even when drying. But that's one of my oddball tips. Let it dry on its side and roll it around a little bit. Actually, this didn't get too pulled up, so we should be good. All right, so I'm going to set her over here on her side, and I'll rotate it every so often. Oh, you're running a game, Megamoo. That's awesome. What's the game going to be? Plug your game. Seriously, plug your game so that people can know what's out there. Now this is what I need to look at. Now that I'm kind of less frazzled. What is this? Okay, so... Oh, that's why I grabbed the different... I didn't grab the same familiar ones. I was looking at the one that had the cat in it. Okay, so this one has in here... We have a red lark, Belliard, and a galling horns, I believe is what these are. Is that right? There's so many words on here in the back. But yeah, so it's these cool guys. And I'm going to be doing this guy because he looks cool. That'll be fun. That'll definitely be fun. All right. So now, because of that skeletal look to him, I am going to be sticking with the color that I already have open. Haha, that's handy. And we'll get started with that one. Let's see here. Not me for packs. What do you mean for packs, Vincent? You wish you could go to cool things, Nathan. I mean, honestly, a lot of what's going to happen with where I'm going now for conventions is where I'm being invited. And plus it's if the funds are there to travel there, because that does add up. Just not Southern California. That's still very far away. I will keep that in mind, Nathan. I did get my room booked for Origins 2019. I will be at Origins, yes. And just like a week and a half after that, I'll be in England. Boot Hill Game, Death Comes to Coffeeville. Okay, now you really do need to describe that because that's a very interesting title. Let me just fix the camera. Here, who wants to get seasick with me? Yoink. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to very delicately put it where this figure is in the flames and wings. This is going to help me see him a little bit better too. Now, because of the wash, you don't have to be perfectly exacting. You can actually let those colors bleed together a little bit. Let's see here. Julio's asked a question. Do I think getting the Pigments Monster set is a good idea for a beginner who does not have a lot of paint bottles? Off the top of my head, I am not sure what is in the Pigments Monster set. Which company is that with? It helps if I get a name too. What I can certainly look into it later and see what they have. Thank you, Jordan. Nice of you to stop by. By the way, you are on my TV a lot lately. The boys have locked onto your channel. Hardcore. Loving it. So just letting you know, you have two little fans in my family who I'll get up some mornings and they're already watching one of your videos. Not even kidding. they're having a great time with the latest ones. Let's see here. But yeah, for the pigment scent, I'd have to look into it. I mean, I do have the Vallejo well, it's not a starter one. It's actually a larger kit, but that one has a lot of colors going in it that, you know, are definitely good for a variety of different type of minis. And they have metallics, they have basics, and everything like that in there. So it's a link I could share with you later. Anywhere in America is too far away. Well, Vincent, I am going to be in England in June. However, I'm not sure how accessible I'm going to be because of the whole castle aspect. All right, so I'm done with this one. Let's move on to Cassandra. I love this one. This is just a gorgeous, rich yellow. Closest to black magic than the rest of you. So Canada Zone. That's fair. Yeah, yay fans. Yay big fans. Oh my gosh. They're probably gonna have huge grins on their faces today when they get home from school and I tell them that you jumped in. That's how much they adore you. Oh, awesome. Hey, look at that, Jordan. 7 more. That's pretty cool. See, I love that. I love it when people find new stuff and they get excited about it and share. Okay, so I'm going to take the Cassandra and I'm going to go over this. Kind of skirt around where I already was. But it gives the general idea of the flames. Oh, and I did forget to grab a color. There's one more color I wanted to snag. Oops, it's right behind me though. I won't be gone for terribly long, if at all. Now this guy has a lot of deeper cuts in the flames, so I'm actually going to pull from bottom up and kind of tip it upside down, because that's going to help the wash get into those nooks and crannies a little bit better. Not cosmetic brushes, manicure brushes. Those I find are fantastic for painting minis. I have also gotten brushes from Vallejo. Those have been very decent to me. And believe it or not, I'll sometimes even use the cheapo sets you can find at like Michael's and Joann. Especially if I know that it's going to be a mini that has a lot of texture and is going to be hard on the brush. Sometimes it helps to have cheaper brushes. Let's see, this is why I love the Cassandra. It just goes. Look at that. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty color. Let me get the back of the wings. Don't want to forget the back of the wings. That would be bad. A little bit more over here. Ooh, there we go. Very cool. Okay, I'm going to set this down for a second. Yeah, but last week's stream I did put in the link to the set that I have of the manicure brushes. If you want to grab those, by all means. Sepia. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. No, I don't want Agrix. There, oh, wait, there it is. Okay. I'm going to take the sepia. Yeah, see, I'm not sure if you'll be able to get into... I'm honestly not sure what my schedule is going to be like when I'm doing the D&D in a castle in England. I do know that I am taking on 2 of the night games, and I've already started plotting stories for those. I'm doing 2 homebrews. One's going to be a little bit more lighthearted, and the other one's going to be very Hitchcockian. So I'm looking forward to those. And in terms of the availability I'll have for like getting out of the castle and doing things in the area, I really don't know. But I'll be in England. How's that? We'll see. All right, so I am taking the Seraphim Sepia, and I'm going to feed this on the bottom area here, just to darken it up slightly. Nothing super major, and in fact, it's going to be the metallics that do more of the look that I want than the washes, but I did want to tone it a little bit darker. Yeah, the thing I find with brushes is it's also personal. Like some people have ones that they totally prefer over others, which is totally fine because I completely get it. The one thing I do universally recommend, and this is for brush care, get this guy. Okay? Get this guy for cleaning your brushes. You will not regret it. It absolutely helps. It conditions, it cleans. I actually put a thin film on when I'm done washing my brushes to help them keep their shape. but that is one I absolutely recommend. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're almost to the half hour. Not too shabby. Okay, so that just darkens up the base a little bit for me. And now this one's gonna dry. Set him off screen. Let me check our blue dude. How's he doing? Yeah, I think we can get started on him. All right, so with him, I'm kind of envisioning a very silvery look to him. So what I'm actually going to use is some silver metallic paint, and I am going to jump over to using craft paints for this, simply because I like how they look on this type of plastic better. Again, personal preferences. You can play around, discover what it is that works best for you. Yeah, no, it's a great brush cleaner. One of the better ones out there, in my opinion, for sure. And I can put a link in there. I'll put link in there so we can help you find Zelda. How's that? Fun times. All right, so what I'm jumping over to is the Folk Art Sterling Silver, which is a color I very much like to use. It's great for spooky things. Now we're gonna have to decide what we do next week for minis. Because let's see, what do I have left? I have Mimics. I have the Judas Bloodspire Vampire from Bones, Reaper Bones. And I have Ghouls. Out of those three, what sounds good for next week? Because these guys are pretty much going to get done today. Who should we see? Who should we paint? What sounds good to you? So what I'm going to do is just take my silver, get some on my brush, and again, this is what I always do. But you can see, or maybe you can't see, this is a very thin paint, but it has a great shimmer to it, which is why I like using it on minis for metallics, because it's not heavy. It's not like what you expect from normal craft paints. But what I'm going to do is just dry brush this on the higher parts of the mini. And you can see it starts highlighting him a little bit more. These guys are actually hard to show on camera because of that clarity to the plastic. Interesting. But again, dab off on your hand. If you prefer paper towels, that's fine. You could also use gloves, like latex gloves, if you don't want to get your hands all dirty. Thanks for stopping by, Chet. Appreciate it. Oh, the Nolzur's paint set. You know, let me take a look at that and see, because again, I'm not sure the exact colors they have, but there are some general colors that definitely get used a lot. I'll take a look and I will let you know my thoughts on it, if that helps. I'd hate to say yes or no one way or the other and realize I was thinking of the wrong set, because that can happen. Have a great day, Chet. Yeah, we actually have, our youngest is going to be Link for Halloween, which of course I'm not going to complain. And he's super excited because he gets to wear elf ears. And I've had to hide the elf ears on him because he's been trying to run around and wear them every single day. Like, he comes home from school and then drops the book bag down and was grabbing his elf ears and running around the house and then looking for everything else for his Zelda costume. Or not Zelda, his Link costume. So yeah, we had to put those into hiding for now. Which I'm sorry, I'm laughing about because it was just hysterical to see him walk on to the elf ear part. Yeah, thanks, Vincent. This is one of those minis where I'm definitely going to share pictures of them after the fact because they're so darn clear, it's hard to see. But hey, keeps the transparency going. That I like. And then tonight I'm actually doing a hangout with my higher tier patrons on Patreon. We're going to be chatting about D&D in a Castle and my plans for it, because I do want to do some stuff to sort of involve everyone with my planning and plotting and what it is I'm going to be up to. So if you have not stopped over on Patreon, I'm there. Check it out. And then you too, if you join that $5 and above tier area, will get to join in monthly hangouts where I do kind of updates and chat type of thing. And I do not record those, if anyone's concerned about that one. Yeah, I can imagine, Eric. I can only imagine. Well, hopefully you'll be able to jump back in. Oops, move them down a little bit. And really the name of the game with these is light-handed. You don't want to get full coverage on here, because that's not the point. That's also why you see me going back around over and over again, because I'm going so lightly. I want to see how things are drying. And actually, I'm going to let him dry a little bit more before I do anything else with him once I get a couple more spots that I see I want to get. Hold on. I got to get a little bit underneath here. Let's see. You and the wife are making... Oh, the Hocus Pocus house. Oh my gosh. Please take pictures and share. I'm obsessed with Hocus Pocus. I am absolutely obsessed about it. It's one of my favorite Halloween movies, so that to me just sounds flippin' awesome. Yeah, please take pictures. So here, he's looking a little bit more spooky. So I'm going to let him dry, and probably what's going to happen, he's going to get a second wash, and then we'll call it a day on him. Let's see, this is the mini from the Wraith and Specter set from Nolzur's. WizKids. See, at least the one. That's one, except I didn't want to paint them all black. I actually wanted to have more shimmery silver. Thank you very much, Megamoo. Think you have a new fan? What do you mean? Did I miss something in the chat? Okay, so let me see who else is looking good. All right, I'm going to jump back to this one. This is the other mini from the same set. And I'm going to get her going. Yeah, that would be awesome. Yes. That is a little bit too late for you, Vincent. That's going to be like, what, like 2 o'clock in the morning, I believe? All right, so again, I'm going to stick with Craft Paint Metallics. And this is one that I really like. It's also from Folk Art, and it is their antique copper. And it has more of a reddish tone to it. It's not like a true orange tone copper, which is why I like it a lot. Dab over here. And again, it's going to be one of those things where it's light-handed, not too heavy-handed with things. Oh, let me just rinse my brush off, because that would be a good thing, wouldn't it? Oh, excellent, Nathan. Thank you. That would be awesome. But yeah, MACE is in a few weeks, which I can hardly believe because that seems like ages ago. So there's going to be fun stuff going on. If you're in that Charlotte, North Carolina area, check it out. JustUsProductions.com. Look for the MACE event in Charlotte. It'll have information there for you. And I will be there. And Scotty will be there. And Wylock will be there. And Danny from 3D Tabletop Printing will be there. And Jim from Game Terrain Engineering will be there. Yeah, there's actually going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be fun. It's... Hello, loud cat. It's almost like a little mini family reunion at this rate, which I think is awesome. So again, I'm just taking this in very thin coats. I'm going over the high points of the shroud. That's the word I was looking for earlier, her shroud. I don't have cats. I have dogs that look like cats, I swear. My little heffalumps. And they seem to be catching on to the fact that when I'm sitting and doing live streams and I'm talking into a camera, I'm sort of a captive audience. So now they're like jumping onto my lap in the middle of everything, and they want cuddles and they want to be seen. And oh yeah, that gets fun. I'm just going to change the angle here so I can get this a little bit better. Yep, 2 a.m. That's what I thought. Yeah, I have to work on getting my passport renewed. Let's just add that to the to-do list. It's actually very necessary to do, to get done. Otherwise, I'm not going to England. The castle itself is gorgeous. I did put a link of it on Twitter yesterday, and it's like it's like being in a fairy tale. I'm like so jazzed, so excited for this. I really am. And this is where having the GoPro is going to be handy, because I do intend to take video while I'm there. I'm not going to be doing any live stream stuff, simply because you know, the people who are there to play, I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable or awkward at the thought of being filmed. So if anything, I'll just be taking video of, you know, my own experiences here and there, and then I'm going to create a little montage that I will put up on the channel once I get home and kind of get back on my feet and into the groove of things again. But heads up, June is going to be an interesting month for me. I'm really not sure if I'm going to have time to do a lot of crafting. I will keep up with doing these, though. So actually, June and November. June and November. They're going to be not as crafty, a little bit more mini painting, because I'm not going to have a lot of time between the convention stuff going on. But I will still be around. Oh, that gives you a good idea of what this is looking like. So see, it gives it like this glowing-esque quality to it. I love this color. I really do. This is a fun one to use on minis. Let's see. A druid based on the dude. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, Andy, I like that. That's another one I want to see. I love getting pictures. I am not going to lie. I adore it. It's always fun when I check my email and someone has sent me a look what I've been working on deal. It's cool. It really is cool to see what people get up to. It never gets old. It really doesn't. That sounds awesome, Andy. Yeah, I play a druid in the coworker game that my husband does, and we're doing Dragon Queen's Horde of the Dragon Queen. And her name is Myrrh. And she's definitely chaotic. You know, she's trying to raise a dragon. She got one of the dragon eggs, and right now is keeping it with a friend. And when we're done, she has plans to raise a dragon. But that's my druid. I don't know. She's fun to play because she's just so quirky, and she's a fun quirky. All right. Now, as this dries, you will notice that sometimes you have to go back over certain areas, and again, it's because I'm being so light with the paint. Let's see here. What did I miss? 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, you have castles everywhere. I will say that's the one thing I missed about, one of the many things I missed about living in London was just being able to walk around and seeing history all around you just through the buildings that were there, are there still. Yeah, this castle is up, it's kind of whereabouts Wales and Scotland almost meet, so it's in the northwestern zone of England itself. It's a gorgeous area. We actually have friends who live out in that area, and I used to love visiting them because it was just so beautiful where they were. And they actually live next to the canal, so we got to see the boats coming through and everything like that. Alright, this shows up a lot better. So you can see here how between the wash and the metallics, you get the creepy, spooky, ghosty look going on. And now I'm going to jump over to the hair. The lovely shock of hair on top of the head. And that one I'm going to do... Where's that gold I want? Where's the gold? Inca Gold. Again, folk art. Folk art's metallics. Folk art metallics I really like the most out of all my paints for metallics. Little FYI for you. It does, doesn't it? It looks like a movie. Like I'm gonna be the lunatic walking around with the selfie stick, like just showing it with the GoPro to give everyone a glimpse into the scenery and everything like that. And if you missed the chat on Nerdarchy yesterday, get over there because, you know, there's some really cool things that are going to be happening in and of itself at the Dean Castle. And it's one of 3 that they're doing. They haven't announced the 3rd one officially yet, but there are 3 castles that are coming into play. Yeah, the metallic, it's amazing how just a little touch of that metallic will pop. Unbelievably so. Alright, so now moving on to Inca Gold, which is a paler gold. It's actually very pale. But again, as you can see, their metallics aren't super, super thick. They're actually nice and thin, which is why I'm totally fine using them on minis. And quite frankly, most of my minis, up until recently, are just craft paint minis. And it holds up really well. Let me just pull that back a little bit. A little too much. Here we go. That's much better. Now the trick here is not to dry brush the face with the same color. Always fun. But just doing that makes things pop again. I love dry brushing. I'm addicted to it. Let's see here. Andy says, the one in my town got mostly dismantled. Oh, see? That breaks my heart. Yeah. I mean, it's progress. It happens. Some of the older buildings kind of fall to the wayside, unfortunately, but not a castle. Not the castle. And it looks like Lisa and myself are kind of plotting to dress the part too for our games, which I'm looking forward to doing. I'm not sure if you're hearing that weird sound. We have a ventilation system where if the wind is blowing just right, it sounds like a truck honking its horn. So if that's what you're hearing, that's what that is. The lovely sounds in my basement. Caverswell. Yeah, Caverswell. And Staffordshire, I want to say. It's like 10 minutes away from Stoke-on-Trent. That's where the castle's going to be. But again, it's not an open to the public type of thing. It's an exclusive private event. And I don't know if I'm going to have the ability to go off campus and meet people at the pub right outside type of situation. I won't know that for quite a while. But quite frankly, I'm just happy to be heading back to England for even just a week. It's going to be so cool. Okay, so there you go. That gets her pretty darn close to where I want her to be. Just going to let her dry as well. Okay, next. Ooh. Which is the front, which is the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to using the antique copper from Folk Art for the form. And then for the wings, I'm going to jump over to Royal Gold, which is this one. Blended down into other colors, which I'm going to play around with. Spooky sounds, yeah. Partly why the kids don't like coming down here by themselves sometimes. When the wind's blowing in just the right direction, it sounds creepy down here and it sounds like a banshee upstairs. We just get this crazy wind where we are. Kind of happens when you're on a higher elevation. Alright, so going back to antique copper right now. I actually might jump to a different brush. Yep, we're going to do a different brush. That is far too broad. Let me see here. Each little brush is going to do what I need it to do. This one. Alright, so moving on to something a little bit more like this. We're going to use this little brush. It's kind of a blend between a fine point and a flat bed. Alright, let's see if I can get this highlighted. Now, this one's going to be a little tricky. Not gonna lie. And the legs are right there. That's not doing what I want it to do. Let me think. Yeah, I want that to show up a little better. I'm going to jump to, where is it? Gunmetal. Change of plans. Gunmetal. I do this all the time. I think I'm going to go in one direction, and I go in a completely different one. Alright, I'm going to do a thin coat of this gunmetal to bring out the form a lot better, because that is the antique's blending too much into the Cassandora, so you can't really see the form as much as I want it to. So we adjust. Nothing wrong with that. Still using the same brush. That's the brush I want to use, but not the color. Does that help? Yeah. Okay, there we go. That makes it pop out a little bit more now. Probably gonna have to do a couple coats of this though, just to bring him out a little bit more. The tricky part here is positioning it and painting it at the same time. There we go. Now you can see him. You know, when I get quiet, I'm concentrating. So, entertain each other in the chat if you need to. But I am excited for this week's craft too. I think you guys are going to get a kick out of it. At least I hope you do. Holy tiny bones, Batman. It actually has sort of like bones, well, yeah, bones kind of going out through the wings, which I'm trying to... Yeah, I got a manicure over the weekend, and I'm gonna get girly for a minute. I got a gel manicure, and I've never had a gel manicure before. It felt absolutely lovely, and I have been told that it's the type of manicure I should consider because nail polish does not stay, the standard nail polish does not stay on my nails. Give it 2 hours and it's gone. I'm not even kidding. I am going to say, if you're going to paint this mini, have the picture nearby as a reference so you can see where these details come into play, because it likes to hide. The skeleton definitely likes to hide. There we go. That sort of offsets it from the Cassandora. But yeah, this stuff is supposed to last for at least 3 weeks, and I have been crafting for the past few days, and outside of a little bit of paint on there, which is going to wash off, believe it or not, it's stayed put. So I'm kind of a new fan of gel manicures. So if you too would like to get your nails done and would like it to last for a good chunk of time, try a gel manicure. And I'm done. Phenomenal cosmic powers. Itty bitty bones. Okay, that's better. Now I'm going to go back over here and do a little bit more on the body. I don't want to overwhelm it, but I do want it to pop out more. So now you can see the form a lot better than before. It's actually a pretty small skeleton in there. So this is one you're going to have to sit and concentrate on, obviously. Alright, I'm just get a little bit of paint off the brush. Got a little too much there. And I'm going to get the top of the head. It's just a little bit yoink. It is funny though, I didn't consider the manicure being so brilliant on camera. Oops, not taking it off. Paid a pretty penny for this. This sucker is staying on as long as I can possibly keep it. So there. Just get used to fancy pretty nails for a little bit. Question will be if I keep it up. I don't know. We shall see. Okay, so I'm liking how that brought the figure out more. Now I'm going to work on the flame stuff. Now I'm going to work on the rest of them. Let's see here. Creepy ancient legends. Oh, what do they have? What's it called? Oh! There is something up in Canada, and why am I not remembering the name right now? The oldest loves, like Bigfoot and everything like that, so he will sometimes have books about different legends of animals, of cryptology. That's right? Cryptozoology? What is it? I am totally blanking on that word. But there is something in that Canadian area. I'm trying to think of what it's called. Yeah, Mexican folklore is amazing, as is Japanese folklore. Oh my gosh. There's some very cool characters in that as well. And now I'm going to move on to the Royal Gold, as I had said before. Chupacabra, that's a cool one. And there's actually, I was goofing around one night, and I have a little song for a Chupacabra. I have yet to use it as my bard, though. But I'm saving that one for Cantriel. Who knows if I'll use it. I'm hoping if I can use one of the spells, I can put it to use, because that would be fun. Me bard. Yay, we get to play tomorrow night, because it's Wednesday today. Ha 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 ha. Alright, so I'm going to take this Inca Gold, and I'm just going to take it across the wings. And look at that. Now we're getting more of the texture. Kind of keeping it more on the edges here. And I did go over the bones a little bit because I want to try and blend them together. Color-wise, not too much, but behave. There we go. Kind of shows you how it raises up the texture a little bit more. And it gives it more of that glowing effect, which I'm trying to go for. Wendigo. Thank you. That is the word I've been looking for. Andy wins the game today. Wendigo. That's exactly the one I was trying to remember. I was mentally going through the alphabet like A, not A, B, not B, C, nope, not C. So, yes. The Wendigo's a pretty interesting lore. I'm not saying it's exactly Canadian, but it's definitely in that area of origin, if I am not mistaken. Based off of the information sharing that I would get when he was reading those books. That, and I know they had one. Ooh, hello, bottle. They had one on Supernatural. Hee. It's one of my guilty pleasure shows. And I love the fact they don't take themselves seriously either. That's refreshing. Screen has a different look today. Jim? Well, I haven't done anything majorly different. I did find the arm for my camera. That might be why. Helps get it more where I want it. Let's play around here, see if the light can catch it. So you can see it's just starting to highlight the higher areas again. But it's still nice and transparent. Yeah, let me get down here. Let's see here. Jedi Jim, when did you jump in? Hello. Andy wins the main... A free manicure for Andy. Only if Andy wants. We don't force the manicure on pop people. They are relaxing, though. You get a nice massage. Your hands feel amazingly soft when they're done. I can't complain. Okay, let's see if that shows up a little bit more. Yoink. Kind of gives you an idea of the high areas. Let me get the other side, do the same thing. Yeah, I've been fiddling around. I go back and I watch what I do to see what I want to tweak and improve upon. And when I realized that the chat does not seem to appear all the time, I wanted to make sure the chat got captured as well, since part of this is chatting with each other. So yeah, I keep playing it around. Probably going to fiddle with this a little bit more too. Now you're kind of getting the idea of where this is going. Ta-da. Now I'm not going to be going all the way down with the Inca Gold. I'm actually going to be blending it into darker. Actually, what I'll do is I'll take the antique copper towards the base. That's what I'm going to do. That's where we're going to put our antique copper. Yep, okay, let me switch over to antique copper. Bye, Eric. Take care. I'm sure I will see you around. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so where I had intended to use this first, I'm going to go back to antique copper. I'm actually going to put it around the lower area of this. There we go. Yep. That's where this belongs. Much better. Much, much better. And I'm not putting my project in any contest. Oh, he made a dice tower. That's cool. What does it look like, Nathan? What type of a tower did you do with it? I like to play around with dice towers, obviously. Well, yeah, Jim, the whole point is you can try and see these minis. God, those tripods were a pain, though, to try and get the right camera angle. I was so relieved when I found this arm. I was this close to buying a new one, but I knew it was somewhere. It was just redoing the craft space. It got misplaced temporarily, which is always fun. So what I do with blending is I kind of bring the one color down and I'll bring the other color up and have them meet in the middle and blend them together. Hello, Closet Geek. The yoga class in Little Rock last week. Ooh, that sounds good. The cool cloth at the end. Nice idea. Very cool. Quite frankly, painting minis is also relaxing for me. When it's just, you know, sitting down here by myself, you kind of get into that nice zen zone of losing yourself to the colors. Sort of necrophilia. Ooh. Yeah, that's another thing you're going to need to share, Nathan. That sounds really cool. I want to see that dice tower, because that sounds awesome. That sounds super awesome. Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more on the bottom here. Boy, does my hand look colorful and shiny. Now again, for the bases, I'm just going to go in, honestly, and they're sort of like that earth stone texture for this one. Let's see here. The other two, gosh, I can barely even see underneath the mini. So pretty much the way I'm going to treat these is just do a dark pavement tone, move up to a lighter gray, so on and so forth. It's not going to be too spectacular for those bases. Though I may have some fun and add in a couple of extra little skulls. We shall see, but I'll definitely take pictures. I will definitely get pictures of these, because a lot of this is, it's going to show up a heck of a lot better with camera, because with the lighting for it to show up in the video, it does tend to kind of flare back because of the metallics. But he is almost done as well. This creepy fellow. Bring it up a little bit. Okay, so that kind of gives you the idea of how things are looking here. Again, this is just doing the wash and doing dry brushing with metallics. And here comes Hemingway. Fa-thunk, fa-thunk, fa-thunk. Alright, so what I need for these guys to do is to definitely dry. And I'll go back in and I'm going to do one last wash on each of them. And then they should be ready to go, but let's get them... Can I line them up? We shall see. So this kind of gives you an idea of how they all... Yoink. There we go. So here we go. And again, I will take photographs of these so you can kind of see the details better on them. But they're probably like 15 minutes away from being done, quite frankly. So thank you very much for joining me today. I will definitely make sure that pictures of this get shared on the Facebook page. That's public to everyone, as well as my Twitter account and Instagram. So I will have links for those in the description if you have not discovered me there yet. This is the one thing I don't like with the camera. I move this way, it goes the opposite. And I'll explain what I did to finish these guys up, but this is how I like to attack these clear plastic minis. I like to go with just a wash and dry brushing approach because then you get still some of the transparency of this, which I like. I didn't want to have them completely lost to paint. Simply because you can kind of do some cool things with light with them in the long run. And yeah, so I'll get them done. I'll get them photographed and ready for the shoot, and then I'll share them with you all. And then, oh, did we decide for next week? Let me get those minis. Let me get those minis and we'll decide for next week which I'm going to be painting, because I do have some cool ones. All right, I said the Mimic. I said Judas. It's like having my own little shopping bit over here, and the ghouls. So let's decide what we want to do for next week. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed watching, and I'm looking forward to being able to play a game with you, Megamoo. That'll be fun. Let me get back on my stool. Not fall off of it, but actually sit on it. Okay, so we have the ghouls. A day with the ghouls. Lunch with the ghouls. Should we do that next week? That would be a fun title. So these are an option. The mimics are also an option, and the keg mimic is like, I am dying to get my hands on him. That's just too much fun. Or we have Mr. Judas here, who, let me just get the, he's pretty cool for a vampire. Got some crazy wings on him. Well, not wings, cape. Are those wings? Yeah, those are wings. So which one should we do? What do you think? Right now, put in the chat, which mini do you want? Do you want the mimics, the vampire, or the ghouls? And I will go back and tally and let you know which one we end up with. So put it in the chat now, which one of these you would like to see for next week. And that should be fun. Ta-da! All right. Fun stuff. Very fun stuff. And if no one votes, then I think I might default to the ghouls just because the title has a lot of potential fun to it. So, thank you everyone for stopping out today. Very much appreciate it. If anyone else has more questions about these style minis, please feel free to email me, thecraftingmuse.email@gmail.com. You can also put it into the comments, though YouTube's been weird lately about notifying me about comments, so it might take a couple days for me to get back to you. Email really is the best way to reach me. And then I will do my best to answer those questions for you. Oh, I'm seeing Mimic. I vote Mimic because I have a love-hate with those things. You and me both. Yeah, you and me both. You like the Mimics too. Yeah, the Mimics are fun. Could always do the Mimics and then do the ghouls. Not the vampire. That's a new vote. Not the vampire. Okay. Mimic because of Discworld. Fair enough. I'm noticing a trend here. I'm thinking Mimic might be our next go-around, so... Mimics. We'll go for Mimics next week. Cool. That'll be fun. All right, so we'll do Mimics next week. I will see you same place, same time, same day, different date at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our lunch break live stream. Thank you everyone for joining in on the chat. It's always great to see the familiar names out there. I have my doubleheader gameplay day tomorrow, so that means at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you are going to find me on Scraticus playing Argo 37, which is D&D in space. It is so much fun. And we're using the Mage Hand Dark Matter skin to play the game, and they have some really cool races, they have some really cool classes, they have some really cool weapons. So if you haven't checked that out yet, please come over. I'll make sure description has link. And then in the evening, I'm back over at Mini Terrain Domain playing with Scotty, Megan, and Jeremy, with Jake as our DM, Sunless Citadel, and that is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's my day tomorrow. Today I'm going to finish up doing the craft video tutorial that's going to show on Friday. And if you want, I can give you a little preview. Do you guys want a preview? Give you a little sneak peek. So I am making some spooky dice holders. They are almost done. But this is what you'll get to learn to make. So keep an eye out for that one too. Coming on Friday at some point in the afternoon. All right. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day or evening, whatever it happens to be for you. And I'll see you later on.